What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Tony. Today we are going to be installing some Recon Fender extensions on my Rubicon. These aren't Mopars, these are from Bunker. They were nice enough to send them out to me. These almost looked almost identical as the Mopar ones. As far as I can tell, they could also be the same exact ones. They are roughly 80 bucks versus $150, I think the Mopar ones are. But I mean, each side right here will tell you what side fender they go on. Super nice quality, I will have to say. And plus, I kind of actually like that look of that, just this little part sticking out just a little bit. One that's going to help save kind of rocks from flying, which is kind of surprising for maybe an inch, 2 inches of plastic, but supposedly it does help, and it will keep your vehicle kind of more street legal, especially if you're running like a 13.5-inch wide tire like I am, or if you have enough back spacing to help push that thing out. Just that little bit space. Yes, every cop can be a little bit picky, so kind of really the discretion up to the cop. If it's sticking past fenders, technically, yeah, they can write you a ticket for it, but most cops probably are not going to waste their time with that. But there are some cops out there. But this is going to be a very simple install. You will need some like needle nose, or I'm sorry, some snippers. Now that I remember the name of it, you will need kind of like a rivet tool. They do make one where it's like a single hand. This one is more like a double. They also make one that's air powered, which is way too expensive for this kind of project. You can run to Harbor Freight for this thing was like $16. The other one was like $9 or whatever. So I was just like, well, for a few dollar difference, I'm gonna buy kind of this a little bit of a nicer one. But yeah, it's a super easy install to do. You just have to remove the one or all the other ones and then basically replace it. It's kind of a very simple install. We'll probably do this one first, just kind of go over it all, and then the other ones we're just gonna put on time lapse because it's really simple. I think, like I said again, this product is really nice. It's really heavy duty, so whatever the plastic they use, the molding is very nice. And I mean, honestly, if you guys look at that, I don't know if you guys can see it, it really does look like it's from factory. So I'm not sure who they're getting their stuff from, if it's from Mopar basically as an offset, I have no idea. But like I will say on each corner it does say RRT or LT, so right rear tire. Pretty simple. All of them say that. So let's start with this and get moving. Like I said, it does come with a big bag of pins, so you don't even have to buy yourself any more new rivet. I found this way easier. Just kind of go across, kind of pinch it. And then you can either pull it out or just push it up. And then you can also take one of your new ones and kind of push it up to make sure it's all the way flush. And that's basically all we're going to do all the way through. So what I would recommend doing is starting from this first one. You don't even have to really start it, just making sure all your holes line up for the ones that you did. So what I'm finding a little easier is already kind of pushing these things down. And maybe it's just because of this tool. I'm not 100% sure. If you want my honest answer, is to basically put it in there, get this thing started, and then we can help pull this and shrink this thing off. So now, there you go. So now that's nice and tight. It should fall back in. Oh, I didn't get this one in far enough. But see, now that's on there nice and tight. So that is kind of what I've kind of learned. I kind of paused the video for a second so I wasn't wasting too much film. But just kind of starting this by pulling this thing down and then going back and reusing this. It's making this nice and flush and nice and tight. It's a little wobbly because I don't have obviously all of them in. So I did find one issue with this, and I don't know if it's just the gun I got to pop the rivets, but I'm finding that this is actually going to hold out a lot better. Sorry, in the background they are cutting trees and running the chipper, but one thing that I found was the rib nuts. Like I said, it could be my gun, it could just be these rib nuts, but I found that just running to Harbor Freight and actually getting some aluminum rivets holds this thing in so much tighter than these plastic ones. Just so you know, and plus, just kind of looking over here, I don't know if you can see it very well. You know, you still got this stuff sticking out. Yeah, this is plastic. This is not going to hurt anything, but these aluminum ones right here is giving you a nice flat flush. It's keeping it flush. It's keeping it nice and flat, and this thing ain't gonna go anywhere. I did drill an extra hole right here just because I did see a little bit of a gap kind of right in this corner. So I drilled a small, just the same size holes as the rest of these, and just put one in each corner. So I've already redone the ones that we've already tackled, but definitely I would recommend, oh excuse me, I would definitely recommend using these aluminum ones. It's making life so much easier, and I don't know, like I said, it could have been my rivet gun that I bought versus just the one that's a kind of a handheld crimper, and these ones just seem like it's holding on to these fenders so much better than the plastic ones, and they're not really shaking. So like I said, these things right here are, I mean, these ain't going, I mean, I'm moving the whole fender now, so that's good. So far I really like this look. I think it looks sharp. It is, you know, a little sticking out, you know, just, I mean, just barely, you know, maybe like an inch and a half gap, but you can definitely tell, you know, if mud or stuff's gonna kick, it's gonna hit this and kind of get deflected from the tires. So we'll get this last fender down, and then we'll see if there's any more of a gap. Like I said, this is gonna help you kind of stay legal. Most of us probably don't really care enough. If you care about your paint, this is gonna help you tremendously. So yeah, let's just finish up this one right here, and we will talk about it. So the install itself was not bad. It took longer than expected just due to because I had to run to Harbor Freight and grab some rivets. And you know, I don't know if it was just because I had to pull down and try to make those things work, but once I got those other rivets in, it was nice and easy. Just basically just drill a few extra holes just to really make sure I get rid of that gap, make sure it's nice and tight. But other than that, it was a super easy install, and I actually like it. I know, seeing them come from the factory, especially with the 35s and a little bit wider tires, you can definitely tell. Obviously, my tire is a little bit turned, but it's going to help really protect the rocks, and it's really going to help the paint from being, you know, smacked from rocks coming down. Yeah, you're probably going to get a few rocks in between here, but they should, and theoretically, probably hit the rock slider or just kind of fly underneath. But once we got the other rivets, it was much easier. I don't know if it's, and I think it was more because my gun, the thing that actually grabs onto the rivet and pulls it down, just wasn't able to reach it. Once I swapped them out, it worked like a charm. So that's kind of like an inside, I guess, tip. If you guys order this, you know, this kit, and grab some other types of rivets, and it's going to make your life a lot easier. Like I said, it couldn't have just been the gun. You know, if you guys have the other little like handheld where you just have to grip it, maybe it'd be a lot easier and wouldn't be an issue. So yeah, it could just been my rivet gun. But yeah, overall I think these things look really good from the Flare, and I think they're about the same width as the factory ones from the OEM that comes on the Recon. You know, just nice. You know, you know, it sticks out just a little bit. I know it may be a little hard to see the rear. Again, you know, wasn't too hard. There is a tiny kind of, yeah, you can see, kind of see right here what I can see. There's a tiny gap. I think if I put another rivet right here, yeah, just pushing on it kind of took that whole gap away. So I may drill another little hole in there just to get rid of that gap. But these things are solid. These things are not going to move at all. I'm happy with them, and I think it looks really good. You know, I think when they first came out, I was kind of, I don't really like that, but I think more and more I think about it, I really do like it. I'm not a big mud flap person. You'll never see me put, I know some people down here will put like a mud flap kind of thing down here. Mud flaps are not for me. I'll never put one on. Yeah, will they really help? Sure, but I don't care about that much that way, unless another company wants to send them to me. I'll put them on just for another video, but I'll probably end up taking those things off because I don't like the look of them. I know, like in the rear, some companies or some states, you know, you have to have a mud flap back here. I'm not really a big fan of that by any means, but like again, I'll never put it on. But yeah, these things look good. I'm happy with them. Install, like I said, was super easy once we got the other rib nuts on. And like I told you guys, unless you guys got the little crimper, the plastic ones may work just as fine. Aluminum ones are going to hold a lot better. So that's my personal opinion. So leave me down in the comments down below what you guys think. If you guys like these, or if you guys are even thinking about putting these things on. So yeah, leave me down in the comments. So on the next one, we have the whole flooring from Armorlite coming in. That's going to be a big install. So unfortunately, I'm headed up north today. So this is going to be this weekend's project on getting the Armorlite flooring in. So I'm really happy that those are in, because we can get rid of the floor mats, and those things are super pristine. So this Jeep is coming amazing. So I'm really happy the way this Jeep is turning out. So like I said, leave me down in the comments down below if you guys are even thinking about putting on the Recon. Like I said, these are a little bit cheaper, almost half the price of the, I should say, if you order the factory ones, are roughly about 150, 160, probably after shipping and everything. And these are a lot cheaper, about like half the price, about 80 bucks off of Amazon. So, and these are from Bunker. I worked with the company before. They make some really good stuff, and these are still true to the same, really good quality side fenders. So, or fender extensions, I should say, not fenders. These are fender extenders. So again, I like them. So like I said, leave me down in the comments down below. Greatly appreciate every single one of you guys. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace out.